The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. I'm just gonna come out swinging, but like I already got it at the top of the note. Before we get started, if you are in denial about the Wolf family and Monster High being black, just go ahead and click off this video. They are black. That family is black. Literally black coded. Y'all only do this when it comes to black coded characters that are mythical creatures. Y'all only do it to them. So bye bye. Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. I almost stuttered, but hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriana and welcome to or welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate, and I'm got no first mate because you want to know why? I tell everybody a little secret when they come over to this channel. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate, but hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment, all the issues that I find within those spaces. We got a few little announcements before we go ahead and get into today's subject matter, so I'm gonna try and dash through these as fast as I can. But if you guys like this hoodie that I'm wearing, got it from Parade, thank you guys so much. I love working with you. As you guys know, they're a sustainable brand. A lot of people know them for their panties, but they sell a lot more other things now just as well. They sell bras, they sell robes, they sell clothing, and they sell hoodies to keep y'all asses warm when it is freezing outside. So, you know, Harriana is my code. You will get 20% off your orders if you use it. I'll have it across the screen and then I'll have it linked down below. Thank you guys so much, Parade, for giving me that. Highly do appreciate it. But also it's time to promote some of my stuff. My Lady Perfecty, as you guys know, it's my picture book. You guys will be able to get this for 40% off this coming weekend for Black Friday. Everything store-wide will be Black Friday for my store, including my picture book. We worked very hard on this. Been in the process of making this thing an entire year and it finally came together, so we would deeply appreciate it. And you can get it in digital copy and you can get it in physical copy just as well. And if you get a physical copy, it will be signed personally by me. I have all these necklaces that I'm wearing on, especially this penny and stocking necklace that I have right here. Will be 40% off, and these are new. This is a new arrival. You guys will be able to get this Cat Noir do-rag that I have on my head. You'll be able to get that for 40% off along with the other necklaces that I wear, and then also a few new arrivals. The Cheetah Girls bonnets are going to be there. You guys have been excited for those. You get new lip glosses too that are going to come along with that. You guys are going to get these two cute little miraculous Y2K tops. You guys have the Zoe Spiria top. It has her little design that I kind of put my own twist onto it, and then it says Venom because you know that's what she says when she's in her superhero form. And then this one, y'all went nuts over this one, but basically y'all know I can't stand Marinette's shirt and cannon, so I decided to make a Y2K version of her top. It is cropped, so yeah, I don't need nobody to say it's not long. It goes up to sizes 2XL. It's a cute bedazzled of her design, literally created by me. I did that. And then the last shirt I have, which is another Y2K-ish shirt, because a lot of the stuff that I sell from my store is heavily inspired by Y2K fashion, because that's just really what I've been loving for like the last few years. But I have this cute long sleeve panty and stocking shirt that I have, designed by me. All of this stuff was designed by me. But yeah, it says Anarchy. It basically matches the necklace. Very cute black shop, basically goes with everything, and then it's also long sleeves, so it will keep you warm. But yeah, all of that will be on harrianahook.com starting this Thursday night, which is basically Thanksgiving here in America at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now let's get back into the video for the reasons why you guys clicked on it, because we're gonna sit here and talk about the time Monster High got rid of natural hair and they don't realize that they did more harm than good. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So as I was scrolling through Tumblr, and I made some posts on Instagram. I was getting comments on not just this video, but then like a post I made on Instagram and some posts I made on my Tumblr about the movie Monster High 13 Wishes, because this was the movie where they introduced the new design for Howleen Wolf. You have her G1 design and her G2 design. We are not really going to talk much about her G3 design because G3 is just overall a disappointment. I see plenty of people were upset about the hair change that Howleen went through when it came to Monster High 13 Wishes, and to be honest, it was a complete makeover, if we're being real. G1 Howleen don't look the same as Howleen in G2. The only reason you can tell that that's the same girl is because the personality is the same. So this is not new. People have always been complaining about Howleen's newer design that was in G2 versus the one that she had in G1. People were saying she looked completely different. Hi, live from the entering room here. I feel like I do need to make a comment about this, and I didn't notice this a bit when I was creating the thumbnail, but a lot of people were talking about how Howleen looked different from her first design and then her next design. I noticed that some people were upset about the fact that they darkened her skin, and that was not a problem in my opinion. A lot of people complaining about Howleen's design, while some were complaining about her hair change. A lot of people were just being colorist, and I'm just letting you guys know now. That's why it's not mentioned in this video at all. I personally didn't think it was an issue with them darkening her skin. If they lightened her skin like they did with Claudine, then yeah, I would be complaining, but because it's just like a lot of colorism that goes on within like the cartoon community and just pretty much everything, and black girls already have to deal with that enough. But that's the reason why it's not mentioned. But I don't want people thinking that I have an issue with them making her darker, because I don't. But in the recent years, especially as of recently after I made 13 Wishes, a lot of people were talking about how they were upset that Howleen had her afro taken away from her. So when it comes down to her hair, Howleen, while one, she is one of the few black characters that we have in Monster High, other than just like the black kids that just be walking around in the background, and they don't really have much of a story either, and then they're often just kind of sidelined, like that one cheerleader with the afro and we just never saw her again. But two, Howleen was really the only Monster High character I'd say that had her hair worn in its natural state, and that natural state being an afro. Seeing how she was the only character of importance with natural hair and it was taken away, black people have every right to be upset about that. Natural hair erasure is something that is just so engraved within filmmaking, and it's time that we do bring attention to this, even when it does happen in family entertainment. I'm so tired of people acting like family entertainment is not worth taking seriously and giving criticism to, because I know, like, if this is content that is appropriate for all ages, then it should not be exempt from these types of critiques. And yes, I did like Howleen's long pink hair. I thought it was cute. But I also really liked her cute little afro just as well. So we're going to talk about Howleen's hair change from two perspectives. We're going to talk about it, one from Howleen's perspective, and then we're going to talk about it two from Hollywood's perspective. Trying to bring some nuance to this, trying to look at it both ways, like Howleen and then the people that are in charge of this shit. So let's go ahead and talk about it with Howleen. Now, as we see, Howleen is an outcast for like, you know, her first year of high school, and then she goes up and she's still an outcast. She has a hard time making friends. She doesn't fit in. She don't really go out much like her older sister Claudine, who is basically one of the school's it girls. And one of the reasons that Howleen's character stood out so much, like, you know, as an outcast in this series is because, you guessed it, she was one of the few black girls there, one, but she was also one of the few black girls too that had her hair in a natural state. Her hair looked different from everyone else's because all the other girls at Monster High, their hair was straight or it was in like big loose bouncy curls, whereas Howleen, it was just in a like cute curly little afro. And then we even see in 13 Wishes she talked about getting a makeover, but there was nothing wrong with the way Howleen looked to begin with, and I understand giving yourself a little makeover. I get that. I understand, because my hair is going to be red for the entirety of 2023 because that's just personally what I want to do, because I'm over it. Red hair phase for a whole year. But it is kind of sad when you think about it, because she thought having straight hair like her sister would get people to like her more. Because I noticed when Howleen got her new design, she resembled her sister Claudine a lot more. And I understand that, because she thought having straight hair would make people like her more. And that is just something that I and plenty of other black girls and black femmes and just black people in general can relate to. Like, her sister's Claudine is in this silk press style, I would say. And I'm gonna be real, if you're not black or brown Latina, you probably do not know what a silk press is. And remember how I always say on this channel how slavery has so much of an effect on how we still view the world and society today? It is also part of the reason why we think black people's natural hair is seen as ugly and unprofessional, when it absolutely is not. As I had mentioned earlier, how Claudine's hair appears to be in the silk press, let's read up on what a silk press actually is. Sorry y'all, I have a space heater on behind me because y'all is cold up in this house. It's freezing. The history. By definition, the silk press is a temporary hair straightening technique used minimal product and flat iron to achieve bone straight hair, Donaldson explains. Unlike chemical relaxers, which in its earliest days utilized lye, a toxic metal hydroxide, to permanently straighten hair, the silk pressed to achieve only with hot tools only. It pressed curly hair into a sleek straight strand, said Donaldson. This style is as popular today as it was decades ago. According to the research, black people have been straightening their hair since the early 1900s, mainly in part to discrimination. Historically, straightening our hair was an act of survival, Donaldson explained. After slavery was abolished, newly freed black Americans were virtually unprotected by the government, which led to widespread violence by terrorist groups. Jim Crow laws often made it difficult for black people to enjoy their full rights as citizens and to secure employment. Finding jobs and creating life meant altering our hair textures in order to fit into the European beauty standards at the time, Donaldson said. Unlike cornrows or bantu knots, hair straightening was born out of the need to survive in a racist society. So moving on from that, we see that Howleen wanted to be like her sister in many ways. And she changed up her style to resemble Claudine a bit more. Oh my gosh, the bonnet, the do-rag just keep flipping over, and this is just not happening with me. But as I was saying, she was one of the few black kids in her school, and she looks different than them because she was the only one with an afro. And she most likely thought that having straight hair would help her fit in more. And that's just the sad reality that a lot of black girls face, because this isn't really a thing with, you know, with Howleen and Claudine in the school they went to, Monster High. It was not a predominantly black school. Most of the people they went to school with were non-black people. While there were other black kids within the series that were also black coded just like them, for the most part, Monster High was not a predominantly black school. But this issue right here, with a lot of black girls straightening their hair to be seen as beautiful and more desirable by society, that's not just the issue with people that don't go to predominantly black schools. I went to a predominantly black school, and wearing straight hair was praised. Like wearing wigs and weaves that were straight, or if the curl was like past 3C, if it was 4A, B, or 4C especially, people was not fucking with that. Like, black kids have so much anti-blackness internalized within them because of the media that they see, but it's also within our own community, because, you know, as like I said, slavery had affected so many black people into thinking that their hair was ugly and unprofessional and unkempt. Like, they think their hair in a natural state is hideous. So as time goes on, parents tend to pass down this to their next generation and next generation, that their hair in their natural state is ugly, it's unprofessional, when it absolutely is not. There's a lot of anti-blackness within that black community when it comes to the subject of hair, and that's why so many people go through so much with it, because while there's one half of people that do straighten their hair because it's a lot easier for them to manage, I understand it, I get that, because I do that. There's also people over here that straighten their hair simply because they just don't think their hair in their natural state is cute or attractive and whatnot, and that's just really sad. So now that we have some understanding about Howleen and why she most likely made this decision, let's talk about how they changed her hair and then change it back. Let's talk about Monster High. Monster High, it's honestly a franchise that, like, it hits, but when it misses bad. Monster High's low-key failed black girls when they did this shit, because after Howleen, you know, had her arc about wanting to fit in, and then, you know, in the end she started to accept herself for who she was, we never saw that afro again. Like, I kid you not, in the movies that came after it, especially the one where she was about to fuck up Toralei, I was on Howleen's side right there. That little afro was not there no more. It was not. And I know that one of her doll designs, and I know there was a webisode where her hair was still pink, but it was still in the afro puffs. No, that's not the Howleen design that they be pushing. They mainly be pushing the one with the straight hair. It wasn't an issue with Howleen straightening her hair and all that to fit in, and then in the end she accepted herself for who she was. The problem is that we never saw that afro again. That's where it's an issue. Hollywood and the entertainment industry just has a long history of not liking natural hair on black girls and women, and encourage them to wear straight hair or wigs or whatever. Like, casting directors won't even bother to pay attention to your audition if they see that your hair is not straight. It is actually the sad reality that a lot of black actors go through, because I, as a black actor, have been encouraged to have my hair straightened in my headshots and whatever the fuck, because they're like, oh, you're more likely to get booked if your hair is straight. And I'm like, so my culture is not worthy of getting booked? Like, things have gotten better over the years, because we have seen like a plethora of increase of just, did I even use those two words correctly in a sentence? I don't care. But we have seen a great amount of natural hair on screen now since the rise of the natural hair movement that was in the 2010s. But there still is like so much to go. We still have a long way to go, because while we do have way more natural hair representation out here, they always have it in that one, you know, that big loose curly afro. That is the kind of natural hair that Hollywood only wants to see. Like, y'all know that big red wig that I be wearing all the time? Yes, it's a wig if y'all didn't know. That's the kind of natural hair they want. They don't want the short curly little afros. They don't want the 4C hair. They don't want that shit. They want one kind of natural hairdo, and if that's not what the person has, they would much rather have their hair be straightened, because they aren't even all that nice when it comes to the subject of braids and whatnot, and they most definitely are not all that nice when it comes to the subject of locks. Like I said, they don't pay attention to you if your hair not straight. They don't like most afros. They don't be liking braids, and they don't be liking locks. Like, why do you think so many black models are either bald or they wear their hair straight all the time? Because they're most likely to get jobs that way. Like, I remember something, because somebody had said something about how a lot of white people are like so scared of blackness and their culture, because when you read a lot of like comic books that were created by white people, instead of them drawing hair for their black characters, they would just make them bald. Like, y'all really thought y'all ate with that? Give me that fucking plate. And the reason we are, like I said, we still got a long way to go when it comes to the way we see natural hair in television. We have been seeing more natural hair on TV and in modeling catalogs and whatever the fuck. But that is because black women fought to get that shit in there. And it's strange how during this time of Howleen's hair change, that is when like the natural hair movement started to take off. But we have to remember that Monster High is mostly ran by white people, especially during that time. So the natural hair movement was most likely in the know with black people. It wasn't really a thing for like non-black people to be knowing about what was going over there with us. So it's like they just kind of didn't see it. They just didn't really ignore it. But it is kind of when you realize that this happened at the same time period as that, when they decided to get rid of her afro. When no, I think keeping Howleen's afro would have done so much for this brand. Like that would have been good publicity for Monster High. I'm trying to help y'all. It just kind of sucks because Howleen was one of the probably only characters of importance within Monster High to have their hair like this, and then it was just taken away and we just never really saw it again. I don't care about G3 Monster High. The way that was a tight little 4C afro that Howleen had. The hair in this new G, that is not the same. Like, yes, Howleen straightened her hair to fit in. Very much understandable. But y'all didn't even bother to bring that back, because I saw a picture of what Howleen looked in G3. That hair ain't the same. That hair is not doing it. Because I remember somebody had even said something about how over the years, like, y'all are scared of that tight, kinky, coily hair. Y'all are terrified of that shit. Like I said, on television, you really would not see that much of that. If you see a black character with like curly natural hair, it would be all big and like, you know, loose, almost wavy curls. Y'all are afraid of natural hair, because I've seen the way that hair looks on her now, and I'm just like, no, Howleen hair did not look like that when it was not straight. She got a little texturizer in there. They done threw a little texturizer up in Howleen and her shampoo. They did, because baby, no. Like, and it just kind of makes me upset, because we saw that Howleen did end up having her natural hair again when it was pink. Like, we said, okay, we get it, she dyed her hair pink. It was cute to see that we saw her hair in the little puff balls. We rarely ever saw that again. Like, did y'all really have to keep her hair straightened for the rest of that run during G2? Fuck no. I understand the entire thing of Howleen coming of age and her changing her hair had to do with that. But then also, it's just like if she also came of age, she would have learned that her hair, being in her afro, wasn't hideous. And I understand, dealing with natural hair is hard. It's difficult. That's why I don't deal with mine. But it's just kind of hurtful to see. Like I said, she was the only character of importance that had her hair like that. And for us to see that that representation was taken away was a tad bit hurtful, because we don't really see that no more. Because I remember there have been black kids more in Monster High as the years have gone on, because I'm pretty sure Toralei is black. Is she? I've always gotten black vibes from her, and plenty of other people within Monster High community have said that Toralei is black, but her hair is like in a straight bob. And yes, a lot of black girls do wear their hair like that. A lot of black girls do wear their hair like Claudine does. A lot of black girls do wear their hair like Catty Noir. But Howleen was the only one that we saw really with an afro like that, and then it was just gone. Like, when we say representation matters, it's much more than just having a black character there. Their appearance also does matter just as well, because like I said, natural hair, especially the way Howleen's hair looked at first, that has always been pushed upon us that it is hideous and that it was ugly. My natural hair looks like that, okay? Like, my hair before I relaxed it, it was in like that 4C tight thick afro. And it was cute, it was beautiful, but you know, like, it's just a lot to handle, and it's just a lot to deal with. It's a lot of discussions when it comes to like the natural hair debate, and I understand that people in real life, you know, it's hard for them to manage it and whatnot, but when it comes to fiction, I understand like it's good to tell these stories of how people actually deal with this. But y'all was not thinking that when y'all created this Monster High. Y'all were not thinking about that. It's just like I said, I feel conflicted, because I'm like, on one half, I can understand Howleen changing her hair because maybe the afro was just too much for her to deal with. But also, heat damage is a thing. You need to let your hair, like, you know, breathe from the weave all the time. Like, she gotta let her hair breathe at one point. We gotta see that natural state again before she go and straighten it again. Like, come on, come on. But like I said, Monster High is something that was not created by black people. So these are things that they're just not gonna know and understand. And that is also why it's important for non-black people, when they create things to have black people in them. That is why it is important for them to have black people on the team. Because when it comes to things like this, they can end up falling very flat and hitting the mark and end up being offensive by accident. That is all I'm gonna leave at this video, because I don't want it to go on for too long. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We've been having a lot more talks today about hair, and remember how I said I'm gonna link it down below because I love that video why I stopped talking to non-black people about black hair because y'all asses just don't get it. I will have that link down below just as well. My website, all that other stuff that I talked down in the beginning will be linked down below. Like I said, thank you guys so much. Parade, love y'all so much. I highly do actually recommend these clothes. Like, I'm not even lying, y'all. I recommend Parade so much. Underwear, chef kiss. Another way you can support me, I have a Ko-fi and also have Patreon. Helps so much. Like I said, Black Friday is mainly what I'm pushing right now, and then also Black Friday weekend is my birthday, so yeah. But what else? Follow me on everything at Hariana for free, HARIYNNA. I have a web series called The Progenies, and link to that will be down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good night.
Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay.